Hello, welcome back to 3MH podcast. This is episode three, and today we've taken a little different approach to our, I say, usual, and we're gonna give a little more of an educational type of podcast. Stephanie would like to explain more about that.
Yeah, so what we're doing is a tier list. So I'm sure everybody's familiar watching this, but is where you rank S tier, which is like the very best, A tier, B tier, and C tier, and you rank a certain genre into each of these categories. And what we're doing today is training equipment for you guys to let's say you guys have some extra money, right? To see what equipment is best to use and, in our opinion, what will be better for you to buy and that sort of stuff.
Okay, so would you like to kind of,
Sure.
uh, in, well, first we'll introduce the categories, right? So we have S,
Yeah.
where S is the best tier, obviously.
Yeah. So let me
And,
just show the screen right here. So now y'all can see the whole screen on what these categories are at. So just continue.
so S is the best, I guess, and it's what like the
Wait.
must-haves. It's the
You,
most
you,
effective
you can?
drill. Well, I know. Uh,
Okay. There we go. There we
it,
go.
uh, it's the most effective thing you can have. It's a must-have. Like we highly recommend you have it. Like it's probably something that most people have as well. Then we have A, which is it's really good for you. Very effective. We recommend you have it. B tier is it's okay. It's it's not necessarily an essential, but it's pretty common, and people use it on all different levels. Then C tier is kind of more of a basic. Like I wouldn't say professionals use it. It's more of a lower level training. It's not necessarily very effective, and they're just way better alternatives. And then D tier is there's no use. It doesn't do anything. It's very uncommon. No one really uses it. And we don't recommend you get it.
Yeah, and just to make sure we're clear, we, of course, like from S, we really recommend those items, and like all the way to D, like is the least that we recommend you guys to buy. But if y'all have it, it's not bad to have, right? It's not bad. It all depends on how much money you got. Let's say you got little money, right? You don't have much money. You can barely spend money on certain stuff. It's better to start off with the S tier, right? Instead of buying stuff from the D tier. But if you have stuff from the D tier, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily bad or will make you a worse player. It's just something we don't recommend as much as something in the S tier.
All right, well, if you have something from the D tier, you're kind of just wasting your money, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
well, let me clarify that C tier because D tier we just don't think is effective, and there's, but like Iggy said, much better alternatives into buying stuff that is more valuable for your money and for you as a person and as a player. So I mean, just get started right here.
yeah,
We're starting off with the mask, the Gareth Bell, the those masks that like makes it hard to breathe. So I mean, just get started on it, talking about it, Iggy.
uh, I wouldn't say this is necessarily effective. I mean, I understand the use of it. I understand why some people use it, but I wouldn't say it's worth your money because yeah, it's meant to simulate you just like being tired and making it hard to breathe, which helps conditioning. But I think there's way better ways of getting your conditioning up. So personally,
Yeah,
I would definitely have to put it in the D tier.
yeah, and I would argue about the use of it of conditioning, right? It's just getting less oxygen in, which could cause more harm than good to you. Like you could pass out from just having the mask, having less oxygen, and overall just let's say you're in a really hot day, 100 degrees outside, and you are having this mask. there is a chance you could suffocate, and it's just not very safe for you as a player. So I would have to agree with Iggy and put it in the D tier.
Yeah, yeah. It's not something we recommend.
No, that definitely not. There's better alternatives like just running without the mask, or
Yeah.
possibly like if you got enough money, right? Go to a place with a high altitude, run at those times, or something more manageable for players is run at the hottest time of the day because that's when you get tired the easiest. And I mean, you put that high intensity there, in a few weeks you should be good to go, like match fitness. But if you don't need you don't need to do either of this. All you have to do is put in your work outside of your team training. And if you guys are in team training, just put as much intensity as you can. Just run as much as you can. Just keep going. When you feel tired, that's when you should keep pushing, and that should get you match fit. You don't need no fancy mask to stop your breathing or to regular. I know some people misconceive this mask as a mask to get more oxygen, which I I believe this Gareth Bell mask is actually a high tech uh, from Real Madrid itself to measure how much you're breathing.
Okay.
But
Firstly, I wouldn't say it's the Gareth Bale mask.
yeah, it's not the
It
Gareth
sounds
Bell.
like
My
Gareth
bad.
Bale.
In the picture is the Gareth Bell
Yeah.
mask, but like how they used it, Real Madrid is very high tech. Just to know how often they're breathing. I'm pretty sure they only used it for a short amount of time. So I mean, if you got the money to buy, I'm guessing it's thousands of dollars. I'm not too sure. But if you got the money, I mean, you can go ahead and do it, right? But me personally, I wouldn't recommend it for like there's just much better things in this list that you can buy.
I say it's definitely it's probably the biggest waste of money on this list.
I would argue that our next one is bigger.
Right. Yeah, maybe.
Well, I mean, let's move on to the next one, which is
Yeah.
the Ronaldo six pack.
Yeah, immediately D tier. Just put it in the D tier and let's move on.
I mean, do we even have to say anything about this item?
No, no,
Like,
we don't. We don't. We really
okay,
don't.
look for you kids that are watching this and you see, oh, it's gonna give me a six pack.
No, it's not.
It will not give you a six pack. Okay, look, the way. Let me tell you, the way to get a six pack is to lose fat. That's the only way you can get a six pack. And if you have a six pack or you don't, it doesn't mean that you're a better soccer player or a worse soccer player. It's all in the head. Is you don't need to have a six pack to be a good soccer player. Will it help with performance basis? Yes, yes it will. If you have a six pack, you're most likely to be physically fitter than a guy that doesn't have a six pack. But if you don't have a six pack, it doesn't mean that you can't be good, right? You don't need a six pack to be good. What you
Now,
do need
also,
is a
with your
strong core.
yeah, with the whole six pack thing, just because you have a six pack, it doesn't mean you have a strong core. A six pack purely just means that you have a very low body fat percentage, meaning that your abs show. But just because your abs show, that doesn't mean that they're actually strong. Having a strong core, like someone doesn't necessarily have to have a six pack to have a strong core. There can be people that don't have a six pack at all, but they'll have a stronger core than someone that has a six pack. It's just because one of them is really skinny, so their six pack I guess shows, their abs show, and the other guy he's a built guy, and he's an extremely strong. He has an extremely strong core, but it doesn't necessarily show. And so
Yeah.
it's not like it's all a visual. It's all this visual thing, but it actually has nothing to do. A six pack doesn't really have anything to do with how strong your core is.
Yeah, I mean, and this is why it's going on the D tier. Like, first of all, putting this on will not give you a six pack. So if that's your goal with this item, it will not give you a six pack. All it does is electrocute your abs into flexing them. So you're just flexing your abs for a long amount of time. You know,
Electrocute is a very
or
strong
okay,
word.
not electrocute, like, but like
It
little shocks.
stimulates your ab. It
Yeah,
stimulates your ab.
it's just little
And
shocks. on your
Yeah,
abs.
I don't know if you saw this stuff, but there used to be like this one guy. He was a really big guy,
Oh no, I
and
saw
on
on
TikTok,
TikTok. Yeah,
yeah,
oh
he'd
my.
have the thing. He'd
Did
have
he
it
kiss
on
Miley
the thing.
Cyrus?
What?
He kissed Miley Cyrus during that trend.
Oh, I have no idea.
No, he did. I'm
I
not kidding.
remember
They
seeing
did
this
a TikTok
really
and they
big
kissed.
guy.
I'm telling you, you can search it up after this, but like I'm telling you, he kissed Miley Cyrus.
I I did not see that.
No, yeah, he kissed Miley Cyrus, and let me tell you, while he was wearing this ad machine, and he did his little weird dance,
Yeah,
which I mean, it went viral for different reasons,
yeah,
uh, more than this ad thing, but I mean, he used it every day, and it did not work for him. You know what I'm saying? It's just
yeah. Obviously not. You can't.
misconception.
That thing isn't going to really do anything by itself. You have to actually like work for it. You can't just like
Yeah.
plaster that onto your stomach and let it, I guess, vibrate away. And tomorrow morning you're just gonna have a six pack. It's just not how it works.
Yeah, and this makes me bring up the topic of people wanting things quick and easy. You,
Yeah.
if everything was quick and easy, then nothing would hold value. You guys need to understand that. And if nothing holds value, then it means nothing, right? And since it means nothing, this, for example, you getting this thing, right, for your abs to get a six pack. Let's say you did get a six pack. Would it even mean anything if it was that easy to get a six pack? It wouldn't.
No.
You guys see the six pack as this big thing because it looks aesthetically good, because it's hard to get, because you have to work for it to get it, right?
Yeah. No,
Obviously,
no,
there's
another way of like showing that is if everyone were as good as Messi, would Messi be as idolized as he is?
yeah, and it's just this quick and easy thing is just not the best mindset because it's just making you lazy pretty much.
It won't get
And
you anywhere.
yeah, it won't get you anywhere at all. So do not have this mindset. And, and look, keep this in mind, right? Let's say everything was quick and easy. What would be the fun of you actually achieving these things? Because let's say you get a six pack, right? You can be like, oh yeah, back in the day I used to be fat, um, I was chubby, I couldn't run, and now look at me, I have a six pack. You can brag about it, right? Because it's something that uh, like very few people get through the transformation of being fat to being a ripped guy, you know?
Yeah.
And the same thing with girls, right? Because girls can have six packs as well, right? Like when you're like heavier weight and then you get skinnier, right? And some girls like their abs to show, you know, and they show
Yeah.
and they show that off, you know. So what would be the fun of you achieving this and not be able to brag about it in a way, you know? It's just something to keep in mind. But this brings on to the next item. Do you know what this item is, Iggy?
Yes, the like the balance
Yes, the balance.
thing.
So I mean,
I don't know the exact word for it, but I know it's like this balancing thing.
yeah, and I mean we see this item being used everywhere, like all around the pro game. Um, the physicians is if that's what they're called. Um,
Pro
they always
what?
use or what are they called, bro? I can't get the word in my head.
What are you talking about?
Like the the medics, the
The physiotherapist?
yeah, the no, the physical, yeah, physical therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah, the physical therapist of soccer players. They use these items for rehab or they use these for warm up. You might see this like in a lot of social medias of pros using it, right?
Hmm.
And from my knowledge, these items are good for, like I said, rehab or maybe a warm up exercise. They're not really useful to build balance itself because that could be gained. There's just much better things you can do to get better balance, right? This is just to it's like the stepping stone of an injury, right? Let's say you get injured, you're gonna use this to help you get back at the level you were. Is let's say you get injured and you have to bench the bar itself, right? Because that's the easy thing to do. Or let's say the very light resistance bands they make you do at rehab. That this is what it is pretty much until you can work up into the actual things, right? And this is why they're used in warm up because they're a nice little activation thing to get the legs moving, the balance going. But I mean, I will just let you explain what you think it is, and I'll reveal what I would put um, this item as, Iggy.
I mean, I actually think it's kind of good because I personally believe that balance is probably one of the most important factors of soccer. I think that you don't necessarily have to be physically strong, even though that's a huge plus. Being extremely balanced, I think, is more important.
Mm-hmm.
And I do know that these I don't know these things. I don't know exactly what to call them, but I know they do help. They do help because I know there's these drills where they'll stand on them with one leg and the other one they'll throw a ball and you have to like hit it back while standing on it.
Yeah,
And to do that, you actually have to be extremely balanced. Like it's a lot harder than it looks.
it's.
And
I
I
feel like it's
actually,
more focused though.
well, yeah, but it also requires a lot of balance. Because if you like swing your leg too hard, you get off balance. So you have to be able to
No, yeah,
hold yourself up there.
yeah, but like it's more of a rehab thing. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't
I
go
wouldn't.
out.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's a rehab thing.
I mean, how many times have you gone to training and used one of these?
But me personally, not often. But
Yeah,
I've seen professionals use it.
yeah, and they
I,
use it like as a warm up tool.
yeah, but I wouldn't say it's only a rehab tool.
Yeah,
I think
but
it has. Cool.
no, no, I'm saying it's like a warm up activation type of thing, right? And I mean, the way I see it is as a person looking out to buy items to better their game. I just don't think this is necessarily the priority they should get. I think they should be getting other items in this list much before they get one of these.
So where would you put it?
I would I would either put it around the B or C tier. Uh, I would say probably if there was a B.5, I'll put it there.
A B.5.
Because I'm in
What?
between B and C to put this item.
I mean,
But
would you
for
say it's
now, I'll put it at B.
would you yeah, I mean, would you say it's a waste of money?
I wouldn't say it's a waste of money, but I think you can spend your money in other things um, instead of this item.
Well,
Like have the
I
essentials
say
first, and then you can buy this item type of thing.
I say B. I say B.
B. All right, we'll put it at B, and if we change our mind later,
We'll keep it at B.
we'll keep it at B. I mean,
Yeah.
this next one, um, you know what this next one is, right?
Yeah, I think S tier, and then that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
end of conversation.
yeah, I mean, you can't play without a soccer ball, and that's just the realistic thing. And having a size 5 ball is essential for you to do anything soccer related. So if you don't have this already on your own, that is not your coaches, then
Then
you
you
should
play in the wrong
invest.
sport, bro.
No, you should invest in one because I know a lot of people just have the soccer ball that their coaches have. I mean, you could ask your coach for a soccer ball if you don't have enough money, or I know you can raise like $5, $10 to at least buy a decent ball. I know there's some balls that are $15 that are pretty decent, but if you can build up money, have at least I would say two or three of the really good balls, and then the rest of like $15 to $30 balls, and you should be set. Your goal with balls, I think, prioritizing anything on the list, you should have at least 10 balls. Like I said, two, three of the very good ones, and the rest like $15 to $30 balls. I think that is the most essential thing you can have in item wise. Would you agree with me, Iggy?
Yeah, I mean, I would say obviously you can do conditioning without a ball,
Hmm.
but you can also do conditioning with the ball.
Yeah.
So it has multiple purposes. I'd say every single training session is going to include a ball unless your coaches are like the devil
Yeah,
and they
but we're
want to
talking about
torture you.
individual training right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, just yeah, you might want to kill yourself and just do conditioning and just run without the ball.
Yeah.
It's up to you, but I think the ball is a must-have, and it's definitely something you should be including in all your training sessions, because I mean that's pretty. It's soccer, you know. In soccer, you need a ball. It's the most essential thing you need.
Yeah,
Without a
and
ball, you can't play. Well, you can play. You don't need cleats to play. Well, I mean, obviously in an actual game you do, but
yeah, I mean,
you don't.
I play barefoot all the time.
Yeah, with rocks, right?
No, not that far. I know a lot of y'all might not get the reference, but we did an interview for our high school. This newspaper guy came in, and I said what I said is that I played back in Peru. I played soccer in like the dirt and the rocks and stuff, right? And I don't know if I spoke wrong, if I just can't speak English, but
Well, I mean, you should.
he thought
Yeah.
like he put on the article, I used to play soccer with rocks. So like he thought I played soccer with actual rocks and I kicked the rocks into the goal. So I mean, I got no words for that. But coming back to the soccer ball, right? What I did throughout my early days of training is that I collected balls. I had cones because they were pretty cheap. Like the first two things I got were cones and a ball, right? And I just and even if I didn't have cones, I would use like a shirt or a shoe instead of a cone, right? And what I did is just collect some balls over time, and now I'm in a position where I've had like 2 3 years the same balls, right? Obviously there's some that broke along the way because I use them so much, right? Some of them break, some of them wear off and stuff, right? But I still have a good amount of balls that I use to train, which is like the ball with the ball bag, right? I got like 2 3 very good balls, and then the rest are like $15 to $30 balls, and that is the most essential thing you can do because the more balls you have, the more reps you can do in drills when you do individual training, and that's the best thing you can do, especially if you don't have someone to train with.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard the word balls used so many times
Okay,
in a
you know
paragraph
what? Okay,
or in sentences, but
this is
yeah,
the good balls, the good soccer
yeah,
balls. Okay, we're not talking
yeah.
about anything else right now.
Yeah, it was just kind of crazy in my head. But yeah, I think we both agree that it's an S tier equipment.
Yeah, I
S tier
mean
equipment.
the must have in everything.
Yeah, it's you have to have it. We don't even recommend it. Like we it's mandatory.
Yeah, like you have to have this.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have one right now, go out and get it. Like I
Like
give you permission to click off the
buy,
video right now and then go and get
the
it.
the first thing you buy in this whole list
It's the
is the
ball.
ball.
It's the ball.
There's nothing you buy here apart from the ball.
Yeah,
So,
and then I mean enough about the ball, right?
yeah.
What do we have next, Iggy?
We have the big boy goals.
Yep. I mean just
And
get started.
yeah, I mean, with the goals, it has, I'd say it's very limited on what it can offer in the sense that, yes, you can kind of use it for passing drills, but it's mainly used for shooting drills. And it, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty big target to use for a passing drill. I'd say I wouldn't say it's um, very accurate if you're just shooting into a big goal, if you're passing it into a big goal. So I personally don't think it's that effective in that sense. I think there's definitely more effective uses of items for, let's say, a passing drill. Obviously, for shooting, yeah, it's very important to. Well, yeah, it's pretty important to have a goal.
I mean it's that kind of the most important thing if you're shooting, to have a goal.
Well, I'd say the most important is a ball.
Well, yeah, but the goal is more expensive.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, with the goal, the good thing about the goals is that you can find like goals in your local park. You don't actually have to go out and buy a goal, you
Yeah.
know? So I mean, it's free. It's always nice to have. You can incorporate it into you can incorporate it into some training sessions, not into every training session, but I'd say in a lot. So I'd say I'm personally gonna have to give it an A just because it's free. If you actually like had to pay for the goals, I'd have to put it down a few. But since it's like completely free, I'll have to give it an A.
I like how you were just talking mess about the goal the whole time just to give it an A.
Yeah, because I feel like well, no, it's not that I wasn't talking. I wasn't necessarily talking mess. I was just
You
saying
had like personal beef with the goal, bro. Like if he did something to you or something, and then you're like, yeah, I'll give it an A. I'll give it an A.
no, because look, I wasn't talking mess. I was just stating facts. A goal isn't necessarily the most important thing to have in some training drills, but yes,
Hmm.
it's pretty important for others. You know, it has, it's limited on what you can do with it in that sense, but it's definitely an important thing to have.
Yeah, and I mean my view with the goal is a bit different from yours because I've used the goal many times. Obviously, I'm not gonna buy a big goal. I like obviously I can't carry that, right? But if it's in your area and you can find a goal, right? I wouldn't recommend any of y'all to buy an actual big goal
Oh yeah,
if
yeah. Do not. I do
unless you
not
own like
buy.
a
Do
whole
not
field.
buy a goal.
Yeah,
Do not buy a goal. Yeah, like
do
I'm saying,
not
do
buy
not.
this goal,
Like
okay?
I think I rather you buy the ab stimulator than a big goal. Okay, because
Depends on the price, but these goals are pretty hefty. I
yeah,
mean, they come from $1,000 to $2,000. So, I mean, to spend this amount of money, I expect you to have a full field of grass, or
it's
you
not
have
even that. It's just
enough money, right?
the goals you can find goals 10 minutes away from your house. Like you
Yeah,
won't find a single ab stimulator 10 minutes away from your house because no one owns it because it's useless. But goals you can find them 10 minutes away from your house. So there's literally you're just wasting your money if you're going out to buy a big goal.
yeah. I mean, unless you're Ronaldo and you have a field in your backyard,
Yeah.
like I wouldn't recommend this, right? But using a goal is pretty useful because let's say you got 5 friends and you guys are all training, you all can play a 3v3 to goal with a keeper, right? I mean, the goal is just part of the game, so I would definitely have to put it in A tier. But there's so many things you can do with the goal. You can practice your technique by doing nothing by net. You can practice your technique alone, right? Just trying to hit the net, just trying to hit as much as possible. But then again, you can use a wall, so it's not completely necessary. But it's nice to have if you do. So I mean, I would just have to put in the A tier.
Yeah, I mean, I also put in the A tier, so we weren't necessarily that different. And also,
Yeah.
your math definitely did not add up with your 5 friends doing a 3v3 with a keeper. But
No, not 5 other friends. So it's you and then 5 friends,
yeah, 3v3 and a
I
keeper.
said if you have a keeper as well, then that's an extra person.
You didn't say if.
No, I said like maybe you have a. We'll, we'll look back at the recording, okay?
Yeah, just own up to your mistake. You'll be fine. Anyways,
I mean, we got my best friend.
the pancake.
What? Oh, I thought this was called. Okay, never mind. The pancake, bro. Okay, the
Oh wait, what?
pancake. This is the pancake cone. This is the pancake cone.
Pancake cones.
Okay. I mean, there's the thing with this, right? I mean, I guess I might just do both the cone and the pancake cone at the same time, right? I mean, they
Oh, I
serve the
would
same
not.
purpose.
I would actually have them separate.
No. I'm just gonna talk about them at the same time and rate
Oh,
them
okay.
differently. Yeah.
No, I do think
So
one's better than the other.
yeah, I think the cone is better. Just to be straight up, right? Um,
Why?
that's what I'm explaining. If I can talk.
Well, you've done a lot
No,
of
I'm
talking.
kidding.
You've done a
No, yeah,
lot of
I'm
talking.
kidding. I know I've done a lot of talking today. I apologize for that, Iggy.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
was
fine.
gonna call myself out for
I'm
that.
listening. I'm listening. I'm just
Yeah,
listening.
yeah. This is why I love you, Iggy.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, so there's a few differences with the cone and the pancake, right? I call it the pancake is the flat cone, the little slippery thing, right? I mean, the pancake you can use for a workout, right? Just those
What?
simple workout. You can use those for workouts because they slide on the floor.
I think you're thinking of something else.
No, no, no. But like you can use it as that as well.
I don't think
It's
they
like a rehab tool.
slide. Oh, I don't think they slide.
No, if it's on like a flat ground that can slide, then they will.
I mean, you can play hopscotch on it, but I wouldn't say it's much of
Well,
of a.
anyway, okay. Let's put that out the window, okay? Since you don't understand, right? I mean, you could use. Let's say you're doing a rondo and the cones are getting in the way. They're getting annoying. You can just put these on and they won't affect the game as much. But I mean, I just think they just go all over the place regardless. When you step on them, it's actually quite dangerous because you can slip, right? Because the plastic is just so I don't know how to describe it, but like I've had cases where like I almost slipped because I stepped on it. It's on grass, right? I stepped on it and then like it kind of went like this and I almost went backwards. And I just don't think the pancake is the best, but I don't think it's the worst because it could use the same concept as a cone, right? Just putting down cone drills, same thing. But I just think the cone is more effective in the way of, first of all, these small cones being smaller, so they take up less space. They don't have the fact that you can step on it and slip, and they're just more effective in a way of space management and yeah, I mean I just think cones are better than these little pancakes.
So where would you rank the pancakes and the cone?
I'll rank the pancakes at C and the cones at A because I think this is the very next thing you should get after the ball. After you get like 10 balls and a ball
Yeah,
bag.
well, I'm gonna kind of double up on what you just said. I would definitely put the cones as A. I think they're definitely the second best item on this list. And with the pancakes, I would, I mean, my thing with the pancakes is they kind of, they're pretty much just markers, as in, like with a cone, if you mess up because you go over it, like you messed up. With a pancake, you might go over it and you might be less inclined to, I guess, start the rep over because all the pancake is still in place, yada yada yada. While the cone might flip over, might move out the way, stuff like that. So I think, and with the example you gave with the rondos, I mean, if the cone is interfering with your rondo, that's because you're either
Technically,
going too
yeah,
big, you're moving out of the area that you're meant to do the rondo, or I
yeah, it's
mean,
just technical
yeah.
ability.
So really, I would get definitely, yeah, I would have to put it in the C category. I
See,
don't really see much use to it because realistically, it's also like the same price as a cone.
yeah, I just don't see why you would buy them.
So you would definitely just buy cones. And
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I don't see why you would buy a pancake but not cones.
Well, I mean, depends. If you want to eat something, you definitely buy a pancake over a cone. But I guess for soccer training, it would definitely be buy a cone over a pancake.
You're such a corn, bro.
A corn? A corn? A corn?
Yeah, corn,
Um,
bro.
when has someone ever referenced a stupid remark as a corn?
Me.
When do you ever say, "Oh, you're such a corn"? No one's ever said that ever.
I said it.
Okay.
Yeah, damn right. This is why
Oh,
you're a corn, bro.
you're such a grain of rice. You're such a grain of rice.
That doesn't even make sense, bro.
How does a corn make sense?
You just don't understand. That's why you're a corn.
Okay.
Exactly. You just proved my point, you corn.
No, you're just corny. That's who you are. Anyways,
You're
the
talking about corny?
yeah.
You.
Anyways,
You after you made
anyway,
that pancake joke.
anyway.
Are you serious right now?
So the GPS kind of it's not necessarily a GPS tracker. This is more of a it tells you kind of how hard you hit a ball, how many sprints you've made, what your top speed was. It's a little more in detail to those classic training vests.
Yeah, which they're the same thing. That's why we didn't add the training vest here.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
definitely not because
it's
I
the same
forgot.
item pretty much.
Yeah. But I would say in terms of it's definitely an expensive item. It's definitely probably one of the more. It's definitely one of the more expensive items
Well,
on this list.
I think this is less expensive than the vest because I think the vests are 200 and these are like 100.
Ooh,
I
I
might
don't
be
know.
mistaken. I might be
It's
mistaken,
a little
but
more.
I might be 150. I believe they range from 100 to $300. That's what I know,
Yeah,
depending on the brand.
but I definitely say it's one of the more expensive items on this list. And in terms of how much you need it, do you really need it? No, it's not a necessity. You won't. You don't necessarily have to train with it. Some people use it in games, but I wouldn't recommend using it in games because since it goes around your ankle like that, I haven't used one, but I imagine that if it hits it, it might like mess up your touch. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I'd say, yeah, it's probably more of a training thing. While the vest, I feel like the vest,
It's
although it's
not the boot, it's the player.
so the vest, with the vest, you can actually use it in a game because it won't impact your touch. But the vest doesn't give you the stats on how hard you kicked the ball and maybe how many touches
Some
you
of them
had.
do. Some of them do.
I I, I don't think a vest can tell you how hard you kicked the ball, Stefano.
No, like as Lewis, like I think his does.
No, no, his is purely speed.
Speed, are you sure?
Like hit like
I know there's some vests that
running.
count that
Uh,
because they're connected with the camera.
Connected with a camera.
Yeah, so like the vest, the item, the vest with the GPS is
Yeah.
also being tracked by the camera.
What camera?
I don't know. I don't know exactly, but I know like some vests are connected with the camera that record the game, right? And then they also record the touches as well with your stats.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
but this item is truly you see all the pros doing it because first of all they have the money for it.
I don't even see pros using that.
I see
I've
pros using all
never
the time.
I've never seen that in my life.
Yeah,
I've genuinely
they
never.
use it all the time. They take off their shirt after the game and you see the
Oh
vest.
yeah, no, no, the vest. Yeah, I meant the shoe, the one on the shoe.
There's it's just hard to notice, but there's pro teams that use the shoe as well. But
Um,
they use it because first they have the money, obviously.
yeah.
Uh, Second, it's just a coach to player type of connection to see if you're making enough effort or just collecting data because at the pro game, that high of level, right? They want that little information because that little information could cause you starting, being benched, or winning the game or losing the game. Because there's many cases of, for example, Leeds versus Chelsea, right? Um, let's say Leeds and Chelsea play, and Leeds is obviously like they're not supposed to win, and they win somehow. They see the stats and they see how they ran like 10 kilometers more than the Chelsea team, and it's just little things like that. But if you're a youth player, that type of stuff, obviously, I would recommend you like, oh, yeah, I need to put more effort in this game, uh, and just analyzing stats like that. But I don't think this is a necessity for you as a player that young. I think you should be focusing on just playing, doing your best, especially if you don't have the money. But if you have the money, it's also nice to have, but it's not a necessity for you to necessarily improve your game because it will help you, but it won't help you as much as other things in the list.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, unless you are a professional and like above the age of 18 playing for a professional team, I would definitely say it's not worth your money at all because look, if you want to see how far you ran, I'll, I'll I'll leave it plain and simple. If you end the game and you can still walk comfortably, you haven't tried enough. If you end the game and you're struggling to walk, then you've actually put in your effort.
Yeah, but it also depends on smart running because as a midfielder, you're not supposed to be just gassing yourself out. You gotta know the right spots or where to be. Obviously, don't let you putting effort in determine on what runs you make and stuff like that. Because sometimes making that run is not the right decision. Sometimes just staying in the place is the right decision. You know, but you just gotta be smart enough to know that. But you also gotta put in the effort on the field, right? So when you make that run, you better run. You know, or if there's a transition, counter attack, right? You need to run. So
Every run has to be made with the your highest possible intensity.
yeah. But keep in mind, you also gotta be smart on containing, like, know when to use your energy and when not to use your energy.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you should be walking off the
Yeah,
field all
no, that does not mean you
handy
should be walking
dandy.
off the field. Correct. So, I mean, what would you rank this, Iggy?
For me, the thing is, it's a C borderline D.
I If you're gonna buy it, I don't think it's definitely a D, because I mean, pros use it for a reason, right?
Yeah, that's
But
why I give it a C.
yeah,
For me, it's definitely because it gives you good data, but it's not something that you need.
yeah, and it's something nice to have, of course, but it's not something like you need, like you said, Iggy.
Yeah,
So I'll
I'd
put it
say
at C.
for our kind of for the younger audience, I'd put it low C.
I'll just be C. I
Yeah,
just put
just
it at
C.
C. Just C flat.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
Iggy, just
C
get
flat.
started on.
Let the music know.
Yeah. So I mean, just get started on this next item.
Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a hurdle. It's not really. It doesn't have the same use of a cone. It's purely meant for, I guess, more of a plyometrics,
Biometrics.
conditioning, agility type of drill.
Hmm.
And uh, it's all right. I mean, some hurdles differ in heights, which obviously will make you have to jump higher. Some will not so high.
Yeah, and hurdles
And
are expensive.
yeah, it also has similar use of a ladder, I'd say.
Yeah.
Personally, I would just put it in the C.
See,
Yeah,
I
but
would.
I'd put it above the little tracker though. I'd put it above the shoe tracker.
Yeah. Well, actually, let me put the tracker in front of the pancakes because I don't.
I put it before like after the pancakes.
I'll put it before the pancakes.
Well,
But
because I think that a player that's playing in like high school or like club would be better off getting the pancakes than the tracker.
yeah, but then again, you got cones.
I mean, look, if you're a pro, obviously I'd put it in front of the pancake because if you're a pro, then you don't need the pancake because
Hmm.
you'll have other
I
equipment.
mean,
You'll have better
if you're a
equipment.
pro, you most likely have all these items in this list.
Yeah, except for maybe this little ab
Yeah,
seducer, not
maybe
seducer, stimulator.
except for the D tier. Except for the D tier.
Except for the DT, yeah.
But I mean, hurdles, I think they're useful because plyometrics are a big part of players' physical aspect of the game. So I mean, plyometrics are very good for jumping higher and sprinting. Sprint speed and how fast you are overall, your quickness. So I mean, I would put it between B and C because the price and because they're not really needed because you can use anything really to jump over stuff.
Yeah,
Actually,
it helps.
I'll put it C tier because you can use
Yeah,
anything to jump over.
I put it C tier.
Yeah,
It definitely helps with your explosiveness, but I do think there are other items that help a little better.
yeah. I mean, would you put this in the middle or
Yeah, I
before?
put it in between. I put it in between the track and the pancake.
Try, yeah, I agree with that. All right, Iggy, next item.
Yeah, we have the size one ball. It's I mean, you might have seen it on a TikTok or an Instagram reel or a YouTube short that we posted where I don't have a size 5 ball with me, but I do have a good old size 1, which I brought to my dorm in college, and but I think it's a nice thing to have because obviously I rather have a size 5 if I were to train, but I don't play soccer anymore, so I don't really have to train.
You play
But
for fun. Pick up.
yeah, I play for fun.
Pick up number 10.
Yeah, and but I would definitely say that if you're actually wanting to train individually and work on your touch, I say size one ball is actually really good for you because it's pretty much what juggling does with a size five, with a size one makes it five like it's five
Extreme
times
focus
better. Yeah,
and technique as well.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't use it in like a shooting drill. But
Yeah,
in a
man.
dribbling drill or like juggling stuff like that, I would definitely use a size one as well as a size five. But I would definitely also use a size one because it does help you a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you said. I think the size one ball it just takes extreme focus and technique to be able to juggle it consistently, and I think that's very good as well as juggling the ball. Like a normal ball, you can dribble with the ball as well. It can be very effective just to get those touches in. Maybe a little warm up. You could even use the ball to foam roll. So
Yeah.
it serves multiple causes. Uh,
Closet?
no, it serves multiple causes, right?
Okay.
So, I mean, just for that, I mean, I have one on my own, right? Well, I have like three, but you get the point. I would put it in B tier because I don't think it's something you should get right away. But,
Ooh.
but I think it's something very useful
I have to stick it up in the A tier.
in the A tier. I
And
mean, I could
the
agree with
reason
that
I
as
stuck
well.
it up in the A tier was because the following. Since you can do dribbling drills with the size one, I'm telling you, when your parents are strict and don't let you dribble or play with a ball inside your house like mine, I'm telling you, a size one ball will be your best friend because they can't say no to a size one ball. And you can literally just dribble around your
Oh
house,
yes.
size one ball, which you can get for like $5, and you can just dribble around your house with it, and it'll help your close control so much. So that is why I'm pushing it to an A tier because I genuinely think it's really nice
Yeah.
to have, especially if you're inside a house or
And would you
indoors.
put it before the big goal?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I put it
I
last
mean,
tier.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. I would just put it there as well. The next thing is the ladders. The typical ladders.
Yeah, Hurdles 2.0.
I mean, is there really anything to say about the ladders?
Yeah, it's better than the hurdle.
No, I think the hurdle is better, honestly,
What?
because
Ah,
the plyometric
nah,
features, right? The ladder is there for warm up, right?
ain't
Is
nobody
there
agreeing with
to
you that the ladder is worse than hurdles.
no, look, let me explain, right? The ladders is this misconception of making you quicker and stuff like that, and I say that that is not true, and that, but it does serve good causes, right? So it gets you, it's a good warm up. It's a good way to warm up your feet for coordination because coordination is key in soccer. I think, yeah, and I think that's the only purpose it really has, warm up and good coordination for players. So I mean, it could really help you if you're not coordinated or if you just need a warm up just to get those feet coordinated. But I honestly think the hurdles are more useful because of plyometrics, and I think plyometrics are just more useful because you could do different things for warm up. Like you don't need the ladder for warm up, and if you're coordinated already, you should be good to go. I mean, I think it's good to do the ladder once in a while. I nowhere shame a ladder, right? But I just think you can spend your money in better places. Like
So if you were to pick,
if I were to
if you
have both a ladder and a hurdle, like the same amount of money, and I were to buy it, I would buy a hurdle.
so if you were to have, if you could only have one item between a ladder and a hurdle, you choose a hurdle.
I would choose a hurdle because of the plyometric features.
Almost definitely not. A ladder
And then
gives you
I could
so
do
much more variety. A ladder gives you so much more
like what?
variety.
Like
because
what?
it helps you with it helps you with your quick feet because you can do ins and outs. You can do 2 feet in, 2 feet
Yeah,
out.
but like I said, like
Do a
it's a
you can do a ton
misconception.
of
It doesn't
stuff.
necessarily make you faster or quicker
Everything you
feet.
can do. Look, this is how
It
I'm gonna
doesn't
say.
help you with quicker feet though.
Everything you can do with a hurdle, you can do with a ladder, but everything you can do with a ladder, you can't do with a hurdle, and
Can you
that's a
jump
fact.
on the ladder?
You
That's the
can.
main reason I'm putting
Firstly,
the hurdle in before.
hurdles aren't that tall, so you can
They're like
you
six
can
inches.
jump. Yeah, you can jump. You
Yeah,
can
but
do
like
the
it's not
same
the
thing as
same.
just jumping from
Not
one
the same
square
with the
to the
ladder.
next one. Just
I
keep
mean, you
doing.
could argue you could do the same things of the ladder
Yeah, you
with
can.
anything, with nothing. You will just do it on grass.
But
You don't
that's
need a
not
ladder to be there. It's just nice for it to be
no,
laid
because
out.
that's no. You can't just do it on a random place anywhere because you have to you have to be able to control where you landing your feet. You can't just kind of decide wherever.
Yeah, if anything, just buy chalk. Go into your
Chalk.
driveway.
Wait, this is hopscotch now. You're not gonna be
No,
going.
no, look, look. Just go on your driveway, draw a ladder, and then you can do it right there. You know what I'm saying? It's the same conception.
Yeah. You do. Yeah, you can do that, and then you can
Yeah.
that same chalk you can use and just say, okay, just jump 6 feet and then make it look like there's a hurdle there.
Yeah, no,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like it's the same conception, which is why I would put it at C tier. But I just think a hurdle is
nah, for
better
me,
because of the plyometrics.
there's
Because
ladder.
I just think you would use plyometrics more than a warm up tool such as a ladder. Because I just think you can warm up without a ladder.
Well, I think you can do plyometrics without the little hurdles.
Yeah, no, and I agree. But I'm saying that I just think the hurdles are better than the ladder.
I think the ladder is better than the hurdle. To be
Well, I
honest.
mean, we're both gonna put it at C tier anyway, aren't we?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
look, if you're doing like an agility type of drill or a session, an agility session, I think the ladder's like a must need in that agility session. I don't think a hurdle's a must need in an agility session, but obviously a ladder is only for an agility session, so I wouldn't necessarily put it in the B tier because it only really has room to be in one side. Like you can't really incorporate it into a shooting session. I mean, I guess you
Yeah.
kind of can if you want to mix agility and shooting into one, but you need agility to be able to use a ladder. So
Yeah.
that's why I would definitely put it in C tier, but I would put it at the very beginning of C tier.
Very beginning of C tier.
Yeah, I'd put
I
it as the
mean,
first C tier.
like I said, I mean, I would put it in third, but okay, let's be even. I'm gonna just put it before
Pancakes?
the tracker and after
Oh yeah, yeah.
the
Tracker
hurdle.
first.
So I mean, with the ladder, like I said, I just think there's better things you can do. Quickness wise, I think you can, like for example, gym work will work better, plyometrics will work better to get quicker, and just doing ball work, you can get quicker feet by that. So, uh, and the ladder doesn't necessarily give you quicker feet. Like I said, it's just like a warm up tool. It's just so a ladder has such a low ceiling on the things you can improve on, which is why I'm saying the things I'm saying.
I'd say the hurdle's just worse.
I mean, like I said, the reason I'm saying the hurdle is a bit higher is due to the plyometric aspect.
Okay.
But like I said, which is why during C tier you can do these without the hurdle or without the ladder. You can easily find other ways.
Yeah.
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 Which goes like I don't even know what to call this next item, but I
The
remember you
ball
like
launcher? A ball
yeah
launcher?
the ball launcher. Remember when we Coach Rivas, if you're
Wow.
watching this, just ignore this part, just skip a few minutes. But
Well,
I
I
remember
never got to use it.
you never got to use it. Okay, oh my. So me,
Oh.
Andre, Lewis, it was like a good amount of people, like 5, 10 people, after school, I believe. We or it was after school or in a holiday or in a weekend.
Yeah,
We went
it
to
was in a
train.
holiday. I was
Yeah,
away.
we
I
went to
remember.
train and the door was open of the locker room. we opened the door and this launcher was there, and we took it out of the locker room, right? And we just started launching balls at each other and like testing our touches and all that stuff. And it was the funnest thing like we could ever done. It was so funny because I think someone got like smacked, and then like the thing is the balls got kind of like the, like you know when
Deflated.
not deflated, but like that black thing that goes across the ball because of the two spinny things. I don't know what to call them.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like that happened to like every ball because of how fast the things were going, and we just kept ramping up the speed, and it was the funniest thing.
The paint was fading.
Yeah, the paint was fading, or whatever, right? Same thing.
Yeah.
Uh, but I mean, this item is one of those fancy items that, yeah, it's cool to have, but you don't need them. Like, you can just use the wall if you want to test your touch. Um, and I don't really see it. Maybe if you're a keeper, but then again, you can just use a person to do keeper drills with it. You know, so I mean, for that
Yeah.
reason and for the amount of money, I would argue I could put it in the D tier.
Yeah, I mean, I was
Yeah,
gonna say the same thing. I mean, for me, it's yeah. I guess you could test your like your touch with it, but
there's
then
not much
again,
use. It's just cool.
with testing your touch, you need someone there to actually put the ball in there. Like you can't put
Yeah.
it yourself.
So
So, and then
regardless,
someone there, you may as well just have them kick it at you.
yeah. I
I guess
mean,
with the yeah, I guess it's more useful for a keeper because I guess I don't know if you're there with your dad or something and they can't play soccer, and like you really needed someone to give you a good shot. I guess you could, but nah, not for
yeah,
me. I
yeah,
would
I don't think so.
I don't think it's
Yeah,
as
D tier.
bad as the ab stimulator, but I do think that the little mask is better than the ball launcher.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna just stick this to D tier because
Yeah, yeah.
it's just one of those things that is cool to see, but not really useful in terms of improving as a soccer player.
Yeah.
And the next thing, the mannequins.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're all right. You know, they're I'll just say I'm gonna just put it in. Oh, actually, I don't know. I feel like
I
it's
think a
not you don't
C
get
or B.
yeah. I would say like high
Like
C. Well,
yeah,
not
yeah,
even
high C. I think high C is fair.
because what is the actual? I guess you
I
could
mean,
like
literally
what?
just free kicks,
Yeah.
or just playing around them, right? You can use them as cones, but then again, you can just use
Yeah,
cones.
the
It's one of
counter.
those things where if you have money, get them, good, right? But if you don't, just get cones.
Not gonna lie, my grandparents they
One
gave
of
me
these.
$50. Oh no, they didn't give me one of those. They gave me $50 for Amazon
Uh-huh.
for I forgot what birthday it was. It might have been like my 15th birthday.
Uh-huh.
So and when I lived in England, I had a backyard with it wasn't a full size goal. Like I wouldn't be dumb enough to buy a full size goal, but we had like a seven-a-side goal. And what I did was I bought with that those $50, I bought like one mannequin
Really?
and I
How much?
used it
How much
to
were they?
just my stuff. I like $40, $45.
But
Yeah,
what
but
did
then
you use the
again,
mannequin for? Just free kicks?
no, yeah, it was literally just that. It was just me doing free kicks.
Yeah, I
Hey man,
mean, like I
in the
said,
end,
if
that's
you,
why I ended up scoring one in high school, and you did not. So,
I, I, I would argue my free kick is way better than yours.
oh,
The free kick I scored,
I am not so sure.
we'll test this later, but my free kick is better, bro.
Well, okay, okay.
My
Later.
free kick,
Nowadays, I haven't played actual soccer in months.
yeah, my
While
free kick
you
is
still
better.
play. Well, maybe now, but not
No,
back then.
back
Not
then. Junior
now.
year, I'll give it to you. Senior year, my free kick was better.
I didn't take a single free kick junior year. I mean
You did
senior
it?
year. Senior year now.
Well, that explains things, doesn't
No, no.
it? Yeah.
We decided to give all of them to Bowman, even though Bowman never scored a free kick in his life.
Anyway, I'll just stick this high C.
Coach would always say,
All right, look, enough of your personal dilemmas, right? We got this at C tier. Would you agree? High heat C tier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next up, the parachute.
Uh, C tier.
C tier.
C
Why is
tier.
that?
Because I don't think it offers a significant amount of resistance, and I think it's yeah, you can just do normal sprints.
I think it gives good amount of resistance because I actually own one of these.
Yeah,
Um,
well,
I
we've
think
both used one. We've both used them pretty consistently.
yeah, but like I have one here. I think it's the exact same one in the picture actually, because this
I,
one's much better than the ones that we use at school. Because the ones we use at school were trash.
yeah, they didn't
The,
offer
the,
much.
they're the cheap ones. This one is much better. No offense, I'm very grateful. Don't get me wrong, Rivas. I'm grateful for the parachutes,
Yeah, for
but
someone that
they're just
started with
plastic. They're
yeah,
literally plastic.
for someone that
So it's
started
not the
with
best.
playing soccer with rocks, they should be very grateful they even
Yeah,
have a
I'm grateful for even having that. No, I'm
exactly.
serious though. I'm serious. But I think this is actually a pretty good thing for speed reasons. Like let's say because just like our TikTok, right? Our TikTok, YouTube Short, or Instagram Reel, right? Or sprint workouts that we have, like the 4 week program that we posted.
Yeah,
If you use this, I would argue is more helpful than actually sprinting full speed because you have something pulling you back, right? So I would argue it's B tier. I would
I
argue, I would argue that
I
I
would
will get this
stick
before the
with
balance,
before the what?
the balance thing.
What balance thing? Oh,
Yeah.
a balance thing. Nah.
I would put it like first thing B tier as of right now.
I would stick it in. I would. I rather have a ladder over the parachute.
I would rather have a parachute over the ladder.
Nah, not for me. Not for me.
Well, I'm gonna put mine at B tier
I will stay in C tier.
because I'm a current soccer player.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, now we got the big sticks.
Yeah, sure. Big sticks.
Big sticks. So I mean the agility. I mean I think it serves the same purpose, doesn't it? Really.
As as
I
what?
don't think you need them to get faster or quicker.
Yeah, I generally think
I
you can
think it's
just use
fine.
cones.
Yeah, but like not even just use combs. I don't think you need them at all. I mean, if they're there and your coach makes you do it, I mean, you have to do it. You know what I'm saying? But I just think there's other ways to be quicker and do that stuff. Obviously, it's still helpful to do it once in a while. But if you're gonna buy it on your own, I honestly think it's a C tier
Yeah.
with
But also
the ladder and hurdles.
another fun fact. I actually also did a smart purchase where after I bought the first mannequin, I actually bought like 12 of these poles.
We did.
Uh, yeah, I bought 12 of them and I stuck them to the ground because they didn't have that base that's in the picture. They had the
Yeah,
spike.
the spike. So yeah, that's what I'm
Stuck
talking
them
about.
to the
So when
ground.
you
I stuck them to the ground
when you
and
weave them, weave,
yeah, I mean,
weave,
not
weave.
only would I use them as like a wall for a free kick, but I would also use them for, like for actual like training.
Yeah.
I think they're better than the mannequin because you can actually use them for the same purpose as the mannequin.
Yeah, I think they're better than the mannequin as
Yeah.
well. I think yeah. I'll put them first C tier.
Ooh, I put them third C tier.
Third?
Yeah, behind the parachute and the ladder.
Oh well, now we have a different list.
Yeah, but
Uh,
the only difference is a few things are in different order on the same tier than the
yeah,
parachute. The
yeah.
other tier.
I mean, I'll put them first C tier because I just think they serve more than a mannequin and the ladder and all of those
Yeah.
items. Well, next up is, I mean, I'll just say both of these items at the same time is the rebounder, the hard surface, and the rebounder, the net. So, I mean, I just
I
think
mean, the
it's
thing is,
useful.
the yeah, there. We're okay. They're gonna go C tier. We know it.
C tier?
Um, yeah,
I'll put them
because
B tier. I'll put
I think
the
we're
hard
trying to.
rebounder B tier and then the net rebounder C tier.
Oh, I'm actually gonna have to say no.
Why?
Because the hard rebounder, you can just get a wall, which obviously you won't necessarily find a wall in the middle of a field, which
But
is why that's like the only thing that it would be
yeah,
used for.
the hard rebounder is there to, like, let's say you don't have a trading partner and you wanna, let's say, do shooting. You use
But
a
then yeah,
rebounder and
we've used,
a two goal. You know what I'm saying? If
yeah,
you
but then
want to use a rebounder for a wall,
we've
I mean,
used a
you can
table.
obviously find a wall. You know?
Bro, we've used tables at school. We would use a table. We would use a
Yeah.
bench.
Yeah,
Like
but
there's
sometimes there is none. You know?
yeah, I mean, I don't expect you to be carrying this around. Uh,
I mean, I carry it around. I just have it in my bag. I think it's a very useful item actually. I'll put it before the parachute because I just think like when you don't have friends like me, it's good to have. You know, that play soccer or take it seriously. I think it's good to have even like let's say you don't find a wall and you need to do some passing. I think it's good for that. I don't think the net is as useful
I think that
because
actually helps you a lot more with close control.
I mean you can do both on the hard surface. You can make it pop.
I wouldn't say it's as like
I think it's the same thing, but the net just breaks easier and
break.
it's less stable.
Well, it depends what net you get. I mean, if you get a really cheap one, then yeah.
Yeah, but even the stronger ones, right, which are gonna be more expensive, obviously.
Well, you're not gonna
The,
smash the ball at it, are you?
sometimes you are
Why?
because you touch.
Why would you need to smash the ball at the net to test your touch?
Why not?
Bro, like what?
You don't do that? I do that all
No.
the time.
You smash the ball at the net to test your touch.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why my touch is better than yours.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Let's not act. Okay. Come on now. Let's not act like your touch is. It's nothing.
Okay.
It's nothing compared to mine.
Okay. Whatever
Your
you say.
touch is just trampoline, bro. I don't want to hear it. I do not want
Uh,
to hear it.
okay.
I do
Okay.
not want to hear it, bro.
Okay. Let's not forget who filmed the section that was like the most satisfying things, and it was when you have a good touch. Who
Yeah,
was the
because
one
you
taking that
couldn't hit a
touch?
long ball.
Who was the one taking that touch? Me.
Who gave you
Me.
that long ball? Me. All right, look,
Yeah,
you can give me
and
any type of ball. I'll beat you. Okay, look,
you can
we'll
give
test
anyone
this on
a
a
long
video.
ball. They could still have
When
a
you come back,
trampoline.
when you
They
come
just
back, when you come back, we'll test this.
the retired soccer or high school player
We'll test
is
this.
is going to show you how my touch is better than yours.
Okay, no. Okay, enough of your buffoonery. I think the hard surface rebounder goes at B, and the net goes at C.
I put them both in C, but I put the net one above the hard rebounder.
Really, I put the hard one at B tier, and then the net one at C.
Not for me.
Uh,
Uh,
I put this in front of the ladder. All right, next
yeah.
up, resistant bands.
Oh, I'm gonna say B.
B. I agree with you because I mean I personally use these for my warm up and it's good for resistance as well.
I think
They just
they're
have
better than
multiple uses.
I think they're better than the balance thing.
Yeah, I think they're the best B tier so far.
Because I think if you do drills with the resistance band, it also not only does it help like strengthen your legs,
Hmm.
so when you actually take them off, like everything just feels a lot smoother and
Yeah, and it
easier.
also hits the small muscle groups.
Yeah. It's a nice thing to have. It has multiple purposes. You can stretch with it, you can recover with it, you can train with it, you can do gym with it. It's yeah, it just has multiple purposes that the balance thing most definitely does not have.
Yeah, and also not only the small resistant bands, but like the longer resistant bands, like the thicker ones, those are useful as well because you can also do actual gym work with them. And I mean, just having any type of resistant bands is good. So I would put them at the top of B tier.
Hmm.
Would you agree?
Yeah, yeah, I have them at the top of V tier as well.
But you're yawning in front of the audience.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So sometimes your waffling just kind of makes me go to
My
sleep.
waffling.
Yeah, you waffle a lot.
Okay. This is why you're a corn. All right. Anyway, we go into the small goals, the small particle goals.
B tier.
I'll put them in A.
Oh, I think top of B tier.
I mean, if we're gonna put the big goal at A tier, I think the small goals deserve to be at A tier after the small.
Yeah, but no.
Really,
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, if you need to run small sided, get some points.
yeah,
You know what
but
I'm saying?
then again, you could just put like a big goal and then a
Okay.
cone, or
Actually,
just use cones as the small goal.
then yeah, B tier then, top B
Yeah,
tier.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, don't get me wrong, like has uses to it, like, but I think
that's
everything,
impressive.
every use you have of it can be substituted with cones.
Yeah, so that's why the comes are A tier. So
Yeah, they're elite.
yeah, I mean, and then next up, the net covers.
Bottom of C. Bottom of C.
Bottom of C, I agree with you because I
Bottom of
don't think they're
C.
useful. I think you can just shoot a goal or just
Yeah.
literally just have a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And yeah, pretty much it.
Uh, yeah. Yeah. Just yeah. Bottom of C.
Yeah,
Uh,
bottom of C.
foot foot tennis. The foot tennis nets. Look, if you're training by yourself, D tier.
D yeah.
But if you're training with like someone else, I
Bottom
think
of
it's a
C
solid.
tier.
Oh, really?
I because of this, right? I mean, then again, you can use anything for the net, right? You don't really need a net necessarily. If you have the money, go for it, right? But
Yeah.
the thing is, do you really want to carry this around just to play soccer tennis with your friends? Do
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Soccer
saying?
tennis.
Maybe if you bring it for that sole purpose, yes. But like if you're hitting a training session and everything, you really want to bring, for example, the ball bag, the cones, the small goals, and this tennis ball. You know, the not tennis ball, the soccer tennis net. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just I don't think it's something you really need, or really just have at all because you can use anything.
Yeah. It makes
Because
sense.
how often are you gonna play soccer tennis unless you're consistently playing soccer tennis? Because you can also play two touch, which is much better than soccer tennis in my opinion. You know,
Yeah.
they touch
I mean,
much better.
I think they do the same thing.
Yeah, but
I think
like
it's the same
two
thing.
touch is cheaper.
Well, yeah, yeah, because you don't need the net.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, it's pretty obvious. We both just go bottom of C.
yeah, bottom C,
Yeah.
and then
The last thing, I don't even know what to describe it.
if you buy this, I just hope you're older than 5 years old.
Now, this is my dilemma with it. I have not put it last. I have put it in the middle of D tier.
I agree with you
I have put it in between the ball launcher and the soccer net.
because it can help with juggling as well. If you're really bad, but then again, you can just use your hands and juggle with
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I put it behind the soccer net, the goal net, but I put it in front of the ball launcher because I feel like it has more uses than the ball launcher. But then I feel like the net, the goal net,
Oh, you put the
it
goal net at D?
yeah.
Oh, I thought we put it at C.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, I think we did.
I mean, actually, yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me just put it in the C real
But
quick.
like bottom of C.
In front or behind the soccer tennis.
I put the tennis at last. Honestly, they're both interchangeable. Like, does it
Yeah.
really matter?
Then yeah. Okay. I'll put the little I don't know the ball on a string. I put it behind the mask and in front of a ball launcher.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I don't think you should be buying this item regardless.
Yeah. Look, for me, anything in D, you should not buy. You just should not buy. In C, I mean, you can buy it. I don't think you need it. And then for
But
me,
it's nice if you have the money.
Yeah, if you only have S, A, and B, I think that's everything you need.
Yeah, you should be good to go.
Yeah, you don't really need anything else.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
honestly, you don't need anything else. You just need a ball and cones. That's all you really
yeah,
need.
that's true. Yeah, like training individually is a lot easier than people think. You know.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
up to you to put it creative.
Yeah, because there's a lot of drills. There's hundreds of drills that you can do with just a ball and a cone. Well, not a cone, but in cones, plural. And yeah, I'd say that wraps up our gear list.
Yeah, I mean, this is our longest episode yet. So I thought this was gonna be
Hey,
a 20-minute episode. I'm not gonna lie.
well, yeah, because you're waffling.
Hey,
Like
I'm
you
I'm
had,
just I'm just
uh,
here to give the information.
well,
Don't
yeah,
blame
but
me,
you also
bro.
but you also put the viewers to sleep.
No, I'm
I nearly
not.
fell asleep a few times.
Well, that's because you slept like nothing in these last few
No,
days.
that's a
Yes,
lie. I
because you've
sleep a
been
lot.
working so hard of like for 3MH that you're barely sleeping.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly. I've
don't get
been
me wrong.
pulling
It's
all
worth
nighters.
it. It's worth it.
Yeah,
But
I've been pulling
sleep.
all nighters for the business.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I mean, for y'all watching, sleep at least 8 hours if you want to perform good. Okay.
Yeah. If you
You
want to,
you gotta prioritize sleep and nutrition.
yeah, if you want to get sick, then pull three all-nighters in a row.
Yeah, which is what Iggy has done here. And I
Yeah, and
mean,
I'm a little sick, which is why I've been yawning so much and
yeah,
looking a little tired.
yeah. And I mean, this is the end of the episode. So, is there anything you need to say or you wanna say, Iggy, before we go?
Yeah. We are close to. We're around 200 followers away from 4,000 on TikTok, and we are around. Well, at the time of recording, we were like a follower from 800 on Instagram, but we're also around 200 from 1,000 on Instagram.
Yeah.
So we would like to reach those little milestones.
Well,
So
so,
it would be greatly
oh,
appreciated if the two people watching this go ahead and follow us.
yeah, and also we're very close to 100 subscribers here on YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. We had 93, I believe, or 90. Yeah,
I think
I think it was
95,
90.
right?
Oh, 95.
Yeah,
Um, uh, but yeah, it was.
that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's going pretty well so far. I'm enjoying it.
No? Um, if y'all need help with college, hit us up. We know a guy called the college soccer guy. So
Yeah.
no, if y'all need help, if y'all don't have any idea, you can just book a call with him. We'll give you the link. Just hit us up and just say you got referred by us, and he'll help you with anything. So college recruitment wise,
He offers a free call to kind of like for you to get to know everything and all the details and stuff. But yeah, if you truly are stuck in the college recruitment process, we do recommend. We do say that you can do it alone, but if you're stuck, then we do recommend giving him a call or an email or something because he's played D1 soccer before. He now plays professional soccer,
yeah,
so
very
he
good
knows
player.
talking about, and he also has connections. So I think connections are extremely valuable in this world, and he has them. So if you need help, just head on over to the College Soccer Guy on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, and I'm sure he'll help you, and you'll be in good hands.
Yep. And that wraps up today's episode. Yeah. Until
Yeah.
the next one.
All right. Bye.
Bye.